Last season, the team secured a 7th place finish in their first season back in the Bundesliga, and now with stories brewing in the offseason, where does this team go next? Hey, what's going on, guys? Respected Jeff here, and I am back for Season 6 with Schalke. Like I mentioned last time out, we finished in 7th, which isn't too bad at all, and now we look to build on that. And as our team starts to grow in stature once again, we attract some bigger sponsors to come in and fund this team. Allianz, our new kit sponsor for the season, will be bankrolling some of the transfers, although Schalke are still very financially conservative following their collapse 6 seasons ago, and we have a hard salary cap set at $35,000 for the year to make sure that we don't get ourselves into trouble. And I gotta say, this could be a problem in the market. We're looking to reinforce and build upon the season we just had. There's a bunch of players available in the market for pre-contract, so we're trying to be thrifty with some of the purchases we're making. But unfortunately, a lot of the players of the caliber we're looking for are just not willing to join for the kind of wages that we want. Among them is Jacob Brun Larsen, a fantastic winger who fits the perfect profile we're looking for. He's got an eye for goal, he's fast, he's strong, he's exactly what we need, but he demands way too much. And again, transfer negotiations fall through, and we're finding ourselves having a difficult time in the market so far as we look towards next season. But all is not done at this point. We find a fantastic bargain in Sven Bender, who's out of a contract this summer and joins our team. He's actually played a good bit for our rivals, but he's experienced in the Bundesliga and can help our backline out. We also managed to get a pre-contract signing in Sebastian Mai to really solidify our backline. 2 new center backs in, and there are going to be a couple signings heading out at the tail end of this season as we dive into Season 6 now. This is a really crucial one for us. It's our 2nd season back in the Bundesliga. We have to avoid getting complacent. We really want to push for a top 6 spot this season and build upon the core of the team that we already have together. But it's going to be difficult, and there's a lot of movement in the summer window here. A couple of key players want out after having disappointing seasons last year, and we need to make sure that we accommodate everybody here. And all in all, we have 6 players leaving the club this summer. Star center mid Bozdogan leaves to the Premier League after 5 seasons with us. Injuries just left him second choice in our lineup. Eric Tommy also moves to Spain after a disappointing spell last season in hopes of regaining form, and others like Milic and Fabian move in search of more minutes as well, after it's made clear that they won't necessarily be first choice here. So all of these players out, and it's time for us to put an eye back to the market and try to fill some of the holes in the team, and hopefully fill them in a successful way. Although, unfortunately for us, wages might prove to be an issue once again. A couple of our top targets, again, not willing to sign for that $35,000 or less cap that we have set on us. But we get some deals done. Roberto Massimo, winger, signs for $4 million. And finally, James Liasaliki fills that hole in central midfield for $11 million. We actually get another surprise signing as Brun Larsen eventually, I guess, gets a little itchy there as a free agent looking for a club and decides he will sign for us for $30,000 a week. So we eventually get our man. We just had to wait it out a little bit. And with those reinforcements, the squad is starting to really come together at this point in time. So 3 big signings on top of those 2 pre-contracts we had earlier, and although maybe not world-class talents, these are exactly the profile of player we need to start filling out our team, and I think we have a really good squad going into this season now. So with the bulk of our transfers already done, we dive into preseason, and the story here is that youth is given the chance to impress. I know we've made a lot of big new signings, but we have so many players already looking to make an impression in the squad that are given every opportunity here to show what they've got. Unfortunately, the real talking point early in the game is that new center back signings Bender and Mai, despite starting together, really look lackluster, and eventually, despite Rose's best efforts between the sticks, we do end up conceding here. But we'll give the new signings a pass. They definitely need some time to find their chemistry. But the game far from over, CD Sane puts in a lovely cross for new signing Brun Larsen, who hits the ground running. Our new number 7 could be exactly what we've been missing this entire career. We need a winger with an eye for goal. We haven't really found a solution yet, or I guess I should say we hadn't found a solution until he came along, if his form keeps up like this. Unfortunately, late in the game, new signing Mai continues his rough start to life here, giving away a penalty, and Bredlow, who's come on in the second half as the goalkeeper, makes the save. Both goalkeepers looking really solid so far in preseason, and it will be very interesting to see which of them is our number 1 come the end of this upcoming year. But we get ourselves back in front with Marcus Ingvartsen continuing his hot start to life here at Schalke, scoring again in preseason, and he's the striker exactly that we would have hoped to get after having to sell Marvin Duksch last year. Another player to call out here is Evan Rotundo, who is quickly becoming a top talent, absolutely a star player for this team and starting to attract a lot of attention from some of the bigger clubs. It would be great to be a striker in front of a player like him with the kind of passes he can make. In this game, Aliou and Hawkins, our usual center-back partnership, start, and they look much, much better. Obviously, like I said, we'll have to give a pass to some of our new signings as they get integrated with the team, but for now, I think they probably will remain our starters. We'll see how someone like Sven Bender fits into the mix with time. Another talking point here is Brun Larsen's start to life, another goal in his second game here, and it's another great run. Again, I think he's exactly the type of player that we've been looking for, and hopefully he and Brook up top can be a devastating force together this season. But despite our great form up top, one of the big talking points continues to be our defense, and Sven Bender has gotten a lot of attention here after a pretty disappointing preseason. Again, I'm going to give him a pass. It's way too early to write a player like him off, but definitely some concerning signs as we go into the start of the season, and I guess we can't necessarily slot him in to our starting lineup in our first game in charge here based off of the kind of form we've seen so far. Thankfully, our back four from last season was pretty good. I don't feel uncomfortable going into another season with Aliou and Hawkins as our center backs. And honestly, our lineup's looking pretty solid. Larsen's going to start, new signing Saliki definitely going to start in midfield as well. But the rest of the team's going to remain unchanged. I think the core we built last season is really solid. There's no need to shake things up just yet. We're going to stick with the back four we've had. A notable talking point here is that Dan Rose is going to get that starting spot in between the sticks as we go into this season. We'll see how things go. It's definitely still up in the air between him and Bredlow, but Rose being a little younger and really having some good form through preseason, I think he deserves it. Sven Bender's going to be on the bench, a great option for us. We'll see how he fits in through the rest of the season. And honestly, there's good options all over the pitch. Amadou Onana, Michael Maiden, new signing Massimo, Ingvartsen we've seen the best of recently. I think there's so many players who can be competing for a spot, and we're going to need the depth as we go into this season. But this is our lineup going into our first game here, and it's going to be a really pivotal game to set the tone for the entirety of this season. We're competing on a lot of fronts, and with new signings in the mix, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how our team chemistry works out. Questions actually being asked of Sven Bender in the press conference and his lack of form in preseason. We're defending our player to the bone, though. I mean, it's so early to be overly critical of a player who really we haven't even started the season yet. And in terms of our signings, I mean, we're happy with the squad. I don't think we're looking to sell any more players. We need a lot of depth going into this season to compete on all fronts. And with that said, it's all eyes on our first game in the Bundesliga, Season 2. Let's get to it. All right, here we go. Big talking point here, Abner Aliou starting in the back line after Sven Bender disappoints in preseason, but like I said, I don't think we will be too concerned about it over the course of the season. Both will get plenty of opportunities. And really, it's all eyes on the front line with the addition of Brun Larsen up top alongside our already deadly striker in Egil Brook. It's interesting to see how the two of them will link up together and try to form some sort of partnership. Obviously, Sidi Sane on the other side, another fantastic player, maybe a little less of an eye for goal, but definitely a creator. But how about this? Larsen charging forwards, and Egil Brook finds the back of the net for the opening goal of the season. And this is exactly what I was hoping for. It's Larsen cutting inside, looking deadly and trying to make something happen. A little fortunate maybe to fall to the feet of Egil Brook, but if he didn't finish that chance, it definitely would have been called back for a free kick regardless. It's lovely stuff. It's a real sign of intent from both players bombing forwards. And although we do concede a second, the team is very much still on the front foot in this game. Egil Brook, again, great strength to hold off his man, and this time he returns the favor. It's Larsen who absolutely roofs it past the goalkeeper for our second goal. These two have had a hot start to life here in our first game. 91 minutes in, we concede. Really disappointing way to end this game. Abner Aliou completely loses his man, and I hate to pin it on just one guy in the back line, but that definitely was poor man marking, and it will be interesting to see with our center backs going forwards exactly who is going to take up the reins, with not only Sven Bender disappointing, but now also Aliou looking a little shaky in his first game back in the Bundesliga here. Again, a lot of media attention around the big signing of Bender sitting on the bench for this game. It'll be interesting to see going forwards exactly where he fits in, especially with Aliou maybe not at top form just yet, so that's one to keep an eye out for. Alright, well, guys, huge news. I did not realize this at all at the end of last season, but 7th place actually puts us in the playoffs for a Europa League spot. I thought it was over for our chances for Europe, but it's a bit of a miracle we have an opportunity to do so, and we're taking on some pretty low-level competition compared to the kind of ratings our players have. So not to get ahead of ourselves just yet, but we could have a really good shot here over these 2 legs to find ourselves in a European position come the end of the month. It's a fantastic opportunity for the team, especially with the kind of players we are building around, and if we can make a decent run in Europe, it really could change our fortunes going forwards. So we get straight to it, guys. First leg is an away one, and it's a chance at Europe. We need to throw everything we have at this. It's a pretty full-strength lineup. Notable addition in the back line of this one is Sven Bender, so that's one to watch out for in this game. Hopefully we can keep a clean sheet and go into the second leg feeling really confident about our chances to go through. But there will be 180 minutes here to play through, a ton of action between the two teams, and I think with that kind of game time, probably the best team will be the one going through. Hopefully it'll be us. We're going to throw everything we had, like I said, at this game. And I think on paper, at least, we have such a good team that I think our chances should be very high. Hugo Hawkins spreading the ball out wide for Larsson, who's looking dangerous early in the match. Little 1-2 there with Evan Rotundo, finds the ball back, and again Central now building the play here. It's Evan Rotundo, slips through an unbelievable ball, and Marcus Ingvartsen, who starts this game, secures a goal 5 minutes into the match. I don't even think the opposition have touched the ball yet, and we find ourselves a goal in front. Well, credit to Ingvartsen for the finish, but I said this before, I would kill to be a striker in front of a player like Evan Rotundo. Playing those balls through, he sets up so many chances, and it could not have been a more millimeter-perfect pass than he delivered here. So a goal up, Schalke are flying high with confidence, and that front line again looking to capitalize. Philip Oakes bombing forwards, joining the attack. It's Evan Rotundo again getting his head up, and again picking out Ingvartsen in the box, who plays it back for Larsson with an unbelievable curled effort into the top corner, and we find ourselves 2 goals up just like that. It is high-flying stuff from the Royal Blues, and we are high on confidence now. 2 goals up, and we continue the pressure in the game. Marcus Ingvartsen, little fortunate to be on the end of a ball after Michael Maiden wins it back in a lovely composed finish. The strength to hold off his man and make it 36 minutes into the game. This tie already looks to be over. The opposition a little dejected perhaps, and probably rightfully so. We have been absolutely dominant in this match so far. They haven't had a sniff of our goal. We're 3 goals up, and it could be a really long 2 legs for them here if things continue in this fashion. Roberto Massimo, Amadou Onana plays it back. Larsson cuts inside. My God, what a finish. This guy has been a complete revelation here for Schalke already, scoring again in this match to make it 4. Well, he scored in every appearance he's made so far. There's obviously a lot of season left to play. I don't know how sustainable that kind of form is, but you really couldn't ask for more from our number 7 coming into the mix here and really making waves. Things get even worse. Marcus Ingvartsen completes his hat trick, and Schalke showing no signs of slowing down just yet. Evan Rotundo plays through Egil Brook, who gets in on the mix, coming on as a substitute to score our number 6, and we are not done yet. Jacob Brun Larsson, fantastic footwork, and what a finish. This guy's unreal. He also completes his hat trick to make it 7. Well, 3 for Ingvartsen, 3 for Larsson. Honestly, you couldn't ask for any more from the team. 7-0, definitely our best performance so far in this career. I know the opposition was a little bit of a notch below us, but in a bid for European competition, this is exactly the type of ruthless performance you need, and it's been absolutely outstanding from Schalke so far. Well, what a way to start this tie. We do have the return leg at home coming up in a week's time, but I think with a 7-0 win in the first leg, things are looking pretty strongly in our favor at this point. We return our attention to the league in the meantime, and it's going to be all eyes on these kind of results. Like I said, we want to finish in the top 6 this season. And if we're competing on all fronts, it's going to be difficult. We have the German Cup, we have the German League, obviously, and now, assuming things go through as planned, we will have the Europa League as well. We're going to tweak the lineup a little bit. Sven Bender, I think, deserves a spot in this starting back line. We'll see. It's going to be very fluid as the season goes on, but he had a good performance last time out. And with such a deep lineup, it's all going to be based off of form and selection here. So with all eyes on next game, let's get to it. Alright, well, we start this game with probably our strongest starting 11 in theory. New signings Schalke and Bender step up to the plate and make their features here in the team. It's going to be interesting to see how the team develops over the course of the season, though. Like I said, it's probably going to be pretty form dependent. Well, we find ourselves in the second half of this game, still scoreless and looking to just edge out the competition in any kind of way we can. The offensive line is looking really potent, but really good defending from the opposition prevents a handful of chances. Larsson charging forwards now, and again with that eye for goal, looking to cut inside. It's an unreal save from the goalkeeper to deny our number 7 a goal at this point in the game. With 70 minutes in, we're really starting to dominate possession here. Schalke and Rotundo, excellent link-up play, and eventually Rotundo separates the two teams. This guy is something special, I'm telling you. Outrageous footwork, great passing range, and he's starting to develop a little bit of an eye for goal as well. Scored a fair few last season. Hopefully he can increase that tally even more this time around, and our number 8 is a really special talent in the making, I'll tell you. Couple substitutions look to close this game out, and this is the difference between this game and our first game in the Bundesliga. We're looking to do everything we can to hold the scoreline, and thankfully our back line up for the challenge. Hugo Hawkins partners with Sven Bender, and it looks much better than we saw from the new signing in preseason. Both center backs, I think, complement each other really well. Hawkins a little more mobile, Bender way more experienced, can read the game really well, and between the two of them, we managed to keep a clean sheet. So only one goal, but it's a goal that grabs us 3 huge points in our next game in charge here. Evan Rotundo separates the two teams, and on we go. Alright, well, at this stage, the tie is all but over. We won 7-0 in the first leg, and honestly, barring some sort of absolute miracle, we will be going through again. Honestly, this game doesn't look too much different from the last. Michael Maiden kicks things off. Egal Brooks skies it. The only difference here is in terms of our finishing. We're just not as lethal as we were last time around. Still creating outstanding chances, though. Egal Brook for Marcus Ingvartsen, who has an absolutely outrageous backheeled effort at goal, blocked by the center back. Did look to be on target, but it didn't quite come off for him that time. Michael Maiden, notable player in this one, making so many runs in behind the line. Unfortunately, missing his finishing boots, perhaps. It's saved by the goalkeeper. Finds himself in a similar position just minutes later to set up Massimo, who again, denied by the goalkeeper. Game still scoreless here, and as we come towards halftime, the opposition are the ones who this time grab the opening goal to make it 1-0 45 minutes into this game. It's disappointing from Schalke. Despite the fact that we've actually played very well, we have little to show for it. And again, Michael Maiden makes a mess of a chance there. Credit to him. He's getting in all the right positions, but he just hasn't been able to finish yet. Egal Brook, again finding himself in space. Unbelievable strength and footwork to get the shot off. But again, it's wide of the post. We just can't seem to buy a goal at this point. Not for a lack of chances, but we just can't find it. 83 minutes in, we concede a second. The opposition, I guess, making the most of their chances. Pretty much 2 shots, 2 goals. That's how the game ends. It'll be a little disappointing for sure. It would have been nice to come out with a win and end this on a little bit of a high note, but 7-2 the aggregate score, and we definitely are deserved winners. Guys, we've done it. We're in Europe. We've made the Europa League, and the groups are secured. We take on Olympic Lyon, as well as some other competition who, honestly, I feel like we have a good shot at going through in our group, all things said and done. And we're ready for the campaign. We've built on this team. We're looking really solid at this point in the season. And I'm hoping we can make a really good run in Europe. It's been a while since we've played in the Europa League at all. I think the last time, maybe only time we've been in it, was with Hull City back in the day, and we didn't make that deep of a run, so hopefully that'll be changing with this career. So we got a bunch of games coming up next. I'll go through these a little quicker than usual over the course of this career as we look towards FIFA 22. And with that said, we take on Mainz in the league. Let's get back to it. Alright, well, the one to watch out for here, I think we all know at this point, Jacob Brun Larsen, absolutely unreal talent. 3 goals in his last 3 games, but he's had even more than that. I think he's scored, at least in every game he's played, let alone the hat trick in the Europa League game we had two ties ago. But we'll see how he does over the course of this season. I think if these first couple games are anything to go by, he's going to have a real breakout role in the team here. But we'll have to keep an eye out for the team as a whole and how we're able to put out our offensive output here. Larsson charging forwards, cutting inside, and looking for an opportunity not too far off, saved by the goalkeeper, but that's exactly what he offers, Larsson. Schalke really good on the ball and really fitting in at home in the center of the pitch already this season, and I think we're getting the best of most of our new signings here as play develops here. That is an unreal goal from the team. It's Miguel Brook to cap it off, but it's the entire team in the build-up there. Schalke, great footwork and awareness to open up the space. Obviously, Evan Rotundo with the outrageous back heel to set up our striker, and then a really tidy finish past the goalkeeper. All credit to that as well. You gotta say though, I feel like Evan Rotundo is involved in almost every goal we have these days. He's assisting with ridiculous frequency, and if he's not assisting, he seems to be scoring. And here he goes again. Evan Rotundo blocked by the defense, falls to the feet of Schalke, and it's saved by the goalkeeper. Really fantastic start to the game here from Schalke as we look to pile on even more. Another header sent to the edge of the area, and Schalke with a rip from distance, not too far off, and he does force a save out of the goalkeeper. Miguel Brook gets kicked back to Evan Rotundo again. Some patient build-up play here as Brook plays through Larsson, who's almost playing as a second striker here, and he finishes. There's no stopping that. I don't think there's a goalkeeper in the world who could have gotten fingers to a shot from that kind of position with that kind of pace. Man, I'm speechless though. Larsson he's exactly what the team's been looking for. And I think between him and Miguel Brook, it's going to be really difficult for the opposition to keep our offense at bay this season. Hopefully on the other side we can see Sidi Sane stepping up to the plate a little more, and we'll see one of the most deadly attacks probably in Germany if that's the case. Late in the game there we see a save from goalkeeper Dan Rose again to maintain the clean sheet. It's better from our defense, Bender really fitting in a couple games into the season at this point, and it's really great from all over the pitch. Well, it's deadline day, guys. I think we've got our deals done at this point. The team's looking great. I don't even know where we could improve at this point. An offer does come in for Lukas Korytowski to go out on loan. I think considering the fact that we're in Europe now, we need all the players we can get, so I'm going to block that. I know he's probably third choice at this point, but at some point in the season, I get the feeling we're going to need all the players we can get, especially if we want to be challenging at a high level on all fronts, which is going to be difficult for sure. So we're going to rotate with that in mind. New signing Massimo gets a chance on the wing. Aliou's going to get another shot at center back. I think he's definitely still going to get minutes, regardless if he's first or second choice, because like I said, we're going to have so many competitions going on. So with that said, we get back to action. Let's get straight to it. All right, here we go. Another game, another chance at 3 points. We've had a pretty good start to life here in the Bundesliga, as well as making it through to the group stages of the Europa League, and hopefully the German Cup will kick off in similar fashion. Larsson continues his unreal start to life for the Royal Blues, scoring yet again, capitalizing off a little mistake there, and finding himself in a pocket of space behind their defense. Man, I mean, you couldn't ask for more from a winger, and he's scoring with insane frequency. So much so that I don't necessarily think this kind of form is sustainable all season, but with the highs and lows that come with the form of the players in this team, we'll take what we can get from each of them. Felix Passlack cutting inside to find Evan Rotundo, who again gets his head up to pick out Miguel Brook, and another chance. Larsson again finding himself in a great bit of space, takes a touch inside. Tomori brings him down. Surely that'll be at least a yellow, and it's even more than that. Red card, Fikayo Tomori, really early in the game here, bringing down Larsson, who has been a menace so far. We look to be in good position now. Philip Oakes rockets one off the bar, off the free kick from that red card that was given. We just look to be in complete control of the game now. Against 10 men, Larsson's just running rampant. It's another goal. He takes on the center back. It's such good footwork. It's such good finishing, good movement. This guy is going to be a breakout star, I'm telling you. Two more goals for Schalke as well, and 3 big points against 10 men Borussia Mönchengladbach. Another huge win, and on we go. It's been a fantastic start to the season. You couldn't ask for more, and now we are coming to our first game in the Europa League group stages. It's going to be an interesting one to see how we pan out, not only in the group, but as a whole. I think we have a really good shot at going through. I mean, obviously it's going to be some tough games to make it, but I think we have what it takes if we can keep up our top form. Players this season really stepping up to the plate already. Evan Rotundo, maybe our breakout star, plenty of goals and assists for him. Larson has scored 10 goals in his first 9 appearances. This guy is something else. Absolute star in the team already, pretty much immediately after signing. But he's far from our only goal threat in the team. Ingvartsen has also scored 5 in his 5 appearances. Egil Brook, only 3 goals in his 9, which doesn't look amazing on paper, but 4 assists, and he has been playing great. 2 goals from Evan Rotundo, goals from all over the pitch, really. We're definitely not a one-man team up top anymore, and it's great that we're starting to divide and conquer a little bit with the distribution of goals. So taking a look at our next couple games, obviously we have this Europa League matchup, some interesting league games coming up, notably Bayern next month, and we're going to fly through games as we take on Season 6, hopefully squeeze in Season 7, maybe even 8 as we look towards FIFA 22 and the release of that. So plenty of interesting action coming up. You'll want to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you guys are interested in this career and want to get some peeks behind the scenes, feel free to join my Discord, link in the description. It's free and you can get all kinds of information about the kits that are coming up, signings, things like that, and also play an influential role in deciding the course of my careers and sort of where I land. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. It helps me out so much. And finally, don't forget, you can go to respectthejeff.com. You can click on the Schalke tab. You can see all the players and their stats for this season and really feel connected to the team as much as possible. So, with that said, that's the end of this episode. We're going into the bulk of the season in episode 2 coming up next time out. You won't want to miss that, and I'll be back soon with that episode. But until then, I'm Respect the Jeff, and I'll see you next time.